So, why the risk is worth it? I know a lot of guys coming into 2025, coming into the new year, will set themselves new goals. And I think it's a thing that everybody does at the start of the year. We don't think it's a really good thing, but it's one thing setting yourself the goals, and it's another thing sticking to the goals and actually wanting to achieve those goals and doing everything you want to. And with that, you might have some really ambitious goals. It might be you want to go traveling this year. It might be you want to be able to quit your 9 to 5 this year. It might be you want to run a successful online business year. Whatever it is, there's going to be some sort of risk attached with the goal. If the goal is somewhat, worthy and worth your time to complete and it's ambitious, then there will be some sort of risk, and that's just the harsh reality of things. If the things that you have on your goals, if the things that you want to do are easy and there was no risk involved and associated with those things, then everybody would do them. If there was no risk in going traveling once you got a 9 to 5 job, everybody would do it. If there was no risk to running a successful online business, then everybody would do it and no one would be working. And the system needs these people that work, but we just need to be the other side of that. We need to be the people that are not in the system and not just trying to work, right? So, I'm going to be going through today why the risk is worth it, because obviously I'm 20 years old and I've got to a point where I'm making, I co-run a multi-6-figure online business and comfortably making anywhere from 5 to 10K per month online, with our best ever month in business. That's just me. Our best ever month in business has nearly been 30,000 USD. So, and I've only been in this industry 2 years. I'm not saying I'm somewhat of a pro, but from my experiences and what I've done and teaching over 300 guys to take some sort of risk, I think I'm kind of qualified to speak about it, right? So, even if the risk is kind of slim, we run a mentorship where we teach people how to get into online sales and appointment setting. And with that, there's not much risk associated with it because it's something that's quite, there's a high demand for appointment setters. There's not that much of a supply, not that many people know about appointment setting. So if you're willing to put in a bit of work, then the risk is 100% worth it because it's literally a slim amount of risk because there's not loads of people to compete with. Whereas running an online business in 2025, there's going to be loads of people you're competing with. So there's a higher sense of risk to it. But also with that higher sense of risk, there's also the higher sense of reward. Like, go back and think, once you write your goals down, don't just write your goals, write the reason why you have these goals. Like, everything you're chasing, the reason why this is, maybe your goal is start an online business in 2025. The reason you want to do this might be because you want to provide for your family, or it might be you just want to be able to leave your 9 to 5 job and have financial freedom. So you've always got to go back to the reason why you made this goal, because having empty goals where it's just you've got that number or you've got that point in your head where you want to get to, but there's no direction, there's no reason why. The reason why is the most important thing, because then you can always relate back to, is this risk worth it? Is potentially leaving my 9 to 5, going in all in for a business for 1 to 2 years going to be worth it if in the next 10 years I can live my dream life? For most people, that answer is yes. Because I read a book, The 4 Hour Work Week. In this book, it was speaking about how if you left your 9 to 5 job right now, would you be able to come back to something in the industry, a similar kind of job, or even the same job in a year's time if you left? The majority of the answers are yes, because you've got the skills already. Like, if say you're a chartered accountant, you've qualified accountant, if you left the accounting job for a year, went traveling, came back, you'd probably be able to get an accounting job in another firm, or even in the same firm if you was doing good enough. So it's all about intention. If your intention is to fully commit to something, then the risk is always going to be worth it every time. Every single time the risk is always going to be worth it, because within yourself you're not going to quit until this works. So at that point, is there any risk, or is it just, is that just your life at that point? You've got to think about those kind of things. So everything you're chasing is behind that risk that you're too scared to take. So, leaving that 9 to 5 and having that dream life for the next 10, it might take you 2 years to get there. It might take you 1 year. It might take you 3 years. It might take you only 6 months to get to that point where you're comfortable and the risk is actually paid off. But at the end of the day, if you don't do anything, if you don't change the lifestyle that you're living right now, then think about where you're going to be in 10 years' time. I always ask that question to someone if they're like scared or like, what's it going to make you feel if you're in that 9 to 5 for the rest of your life? What's it going to make you feel if you even have to do it for another 2 years? Like, there's a reason why this is at the forefront of your mind, playing over and over and over and over again. And don't get me wrong, I was someone that was not a risk taker at all. Like, believe me, before I started making money online, I never bought an online course. Gambling wasn't really my thing. I didn't really believe in making money online. And obviously, guys, this isn't just for making money online. This can be any kind of risk that's associated. It might just be like you want to become a sole trader in your specific trade, like plumbing or something like that. It might just be that. It doesn't have to be online business. But what I'm saying is I was someone that was kind of scared to take risks as well. But as I grew older, so I'm 20 now, as I grew older and I understood business and I understood these successful people, a common trait that all these successful people have is they take risks. It's just the facts. Like, you go any successful YouTuber you're gonna watch, Instagram personality, social media, whatever, they've all taken some sort of risk in their life. If it's running an online business, if it's moving countries to pursue content, whatever it is, they've all taken some sort of risk. And if you want to be that successful person, if you want to get in something like their shoes, then you're gonna have to make similar decisions to them. Try and become the man that deserves it, rather than the guy that's just got lucky from taking a risk. Become the man that deserves it because you've taken the risk and you fully thought that I'm going to smash this, I'm going to make this work. So, like, think about the past years that you've had and, 2024, 2023, 2022. You probably still had these goals in your mind. Like, I was someone, before I went to uni, I had the mindset that I didn't want to work in a 9 to 5 job for the rest of my life. But I was going to go uni anyway because there was nothing else I knew, or I didn't know what I was going to do. So it was kind of like, that mindset is stupid, because nothing's just going to suddenly, no one's going to suddenly come in, sweep me up and be like, yeah, here you go, there's a business for you. No, that's not how it works. You've got to actually commit to something. You've got to actually start making changes for that goal to be achieved. My goal, not to work in a 9 to 5 job for the rest of my life, but I'm going the exact route that someone that will be working in a 9 to 5 job's going. I wasn't doing anything different. I was going to uni, partying, whatever. So that route there wasn't going to get me to the point where I am now. I had to change. I had to make a change. I had to start committing. I had to start learning sales. I had to start, making sacrifices, whether it not be going to the club or not going out with my mates. It doesn't matter. But the risks are always worth it if you have the mentality. So sort out the mentality first, and then start taking the risk to get you to where you want to be. Hope you boys enjoyed. Subscribe for more. Drop a like if you want. See you in the next one.